Tom Talley-Esby pulled his coat tighter around his shoulders as he stepped out of his car. The house loomed ahead, squat and silent, half hidden behind skeletal trees. It was 10:45 at night, and the moon, fat and yellow, hung low in the sky like an unblinking eye. Becky met him at the door, dark circles around her eyes, clutching a robe around her thin frame. She didn't bother with pleasantries, just muttered, "Come in," and led him down a narrow hallway that smelled like lavender and something else, something faintly metallic like old pennies left in the rain. "My husband died 2 weeks ago," she said as they reached a closed door at the end of the hall. "Bike accident. They said he went too fast down the hill and lost control, but I need to know more." Tom gave her a slow nod, the kind a PI gives when he's listening but keeping his mouth shut. Becky's hands trembled as she turned the knob. The door creaked open and Tom stepped inside. Jesus. It wasn't an office, it wasn't even a man cave or a secret hideaway filled with cigars and expensive whiskey. It was an adult nursery. The walls were painted soft pastel blue, lined with alphabet decals and cartoon animals. A massive crib, adult-sized, stood against one wall, with wooden bars and a fluffy pink comforter. A changing table sat in the corner, stocked with neatly arranged stacks of thick, crinkly diapers. There were shelves of pacifiers, bottles, and plush toys. Even a rocking chair, the kind meant for lulling infants to sleep. Tom exhaled slowly through his nose, running a hand through his short-cropped hair. He'd seen a lot in his line of work: cheating spouses, drug dens, bodies slumped in places they shouldn't be. But this was a new one. "There's more," Becky whispered. She led him back to the living room, flicked on the TV, and slid in a blank DVD. The screen fuzzed to life, grainy, 780p quality, but clear enough. Tom watched as a man, Brett Strong, Becky's husband, lay flat on his back on a changing table, legs in the air. A woman, her face out of frame, worked fast, powdering him, taping him into a fresh diaper. Brett had a pacifier in his mouth, suckling absent-mindedly. Becky turned to Tom, her face blank, her fingers clenched together so tight her knuckles went white. "Who is she?" she asked. "I need to know who she is. And I need to know if my husband was into anything illegal." Tom nodded, still staring at the frozen image on the screen. He didn't know where to start, but he figured the nursery was as good a place as any. Tom spent the next several hours combing through Brett's belongings, opening drawers, flipping through stacks of old receipts, and pulling apart carefully arranged items on the bookshelves. What kind of man lives a double life like this? The deeper he searched, the more surreal it all became. At the back of a drawer, he found a notebook, the kind with a soft leather cover and pages filled with frantic, tiny handwriting. Numbers, names, locations. Cryptic messages like Tuesday, pleasure session, and client list. He started dialing, using a fake name each time. The first number led him to a restaurant. Dead end. The second, an accountant's office. Another dead end. The third dash. "What's the pleasure?" a woman's voice asked. Tom blinked. "I don't know what you're talking about." Silence, then again, "What's the pleasure?" A chill crept down Tom's spine. He hung up. Back at his apartment, he pored over the notebook until his vision blurred. He spotted a sequence, a phrase written again and again in the margins. "I wish to sleep like a baby." Tom's gut told him it wasn't just some strange mantra. It was a password. The next morning, he dialed again. The woman answered. "What's the pleasure?" Tom took a breath. "I wish to sleep like a baby." A pause. Then her voice dropped to something silky, something secret. "What are you into? Diapers? Feeding?" "All of it," Tom lied. "How does this work?" She laughed, soft and knowing. "You don't tell anyone. You show up, and we take care of the rest." This wasn't the woman from the tape, but it was a lead, and that was good enough. He met her a few nights later at a dingy roadside motel, the neon vacancy sign buzzing in the dark. She was younger than he expected, early 30s, dressed in a form-fitting sweater and tight jeans. "You're new," she said, sizing him up. A little nervous? Tom faked a chuckle. Yeah, I just want to make sure it's the right fit. She smirked. Don't worry, I'm a babysitter finder. You tell me what you need, I match you with the right mama. Tom's stomach turned. He had no idea what he was walking into. He made an excuse, bailed on the meeting, and spent the next week researching. Hours of digging. Visits to strange stores, dark corners of the internet. Then, finally. A store just 5 blocks from his apartment. A sign out front read, Young Again Daycare. 18 plus only. Get pampered like you used to be. Tom stepped inside, greeted by the overwhelming scent of baby powder and something cloyingly sweet. A burly man named Hank stood behind the counter, watching him with hooded eyes. Tom slipped him some cash. Looking for someone, Brett Strong, heard he had a Mama Missy. Hank hesitated, glanced around the empty store. Then, he leaned in. Yeah, I know him. Mama Missy don't talk to just anyone, though. Tom clenched his jaw. I need to get to her. Hank exhaled through his nose. Then you better play the part. Tom nodded. He didn't like where this was going. But he had no choice. He was going undercover. And he had no idea how deep this rabbit hole went. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Mommy Sarah's Story Time. If you enjoyed the stories, please support the channel by liking and subscribing. Remember, my channel is not monetized, and I write most of the content myself. On occasions when I don't, it's sourced through emails from trusted contacts. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you're able to, consider making a donation to support our channel. Your support means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more stories with you.